The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, Lord. While at supper with his disciples, Jesus was troubled in spirit and testified, "Truly, truly, I say to you, one of you will betray me." The disciples looked at one another, uncertain of whom he spoke. One of his disciples, whom Jesus loved, was lying close to the breast of Jesus. So Simon Peter beckoned to him and said, "Tell us who it is of whom he speaks." So lying thus, close to the breast of Jesus, he said to him, "Lord, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It is he to whom I shall give this morsel when I have dipped it." So, when he had dipped the morsel, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. Then, after the morsel, Satan entered into him. Jesus said to him, "What you are going to do, do quickly." Now no one at the table knew why he said this to him. Some thought that because Judas had the money box, Jesus was telling him, "Buy what we need for the feast," or that he should give something to the poor. So after receiving the morsel, he immediately went out, and it was night. When he had gone out, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and in him God is glorified. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and glorify him at once. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You will seek me, and as I said to the Jews, so now I say to you, where I am going, you cannot come." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, where are you going?" Jesus answered, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you shall follow afterward." Peter said to him, "Lord, why cannot I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you." Jesus answered, "Will you lay down your life for me? Truly, truly, I say to you, the cock will not crow till you have denied me 3 times. This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. My dear friends, before we proceed to offer this holy sacrifice for the intention which we bear this evening, we remember that we are celebrating the very context in which these words were uttered by our Divine Lord. These words were pronounced as his final farewell, and they come to us then in an atmosphere of tragedy and tension. And the backdrop is the night. Remember that in the beginning of this same gospel we have the refusal of light. The darkness could not comprehend it. And throughout the Gospel of St. John, this cosmic battle between the forces of darkness and the forces of light are coming through all the time. And in the build-up to the Passion, in the long interchange between Christ and the Pharisees, what comes through clearly there is the refusal of the will to yield to evidence, to yield to light. Judas, my friends, was exposed to that same light, and he, in the context of this same meal, was receiving the fullness of orders. He was deacon, priest, and bishop like the other 11. But when this morsel was given to him, Satan entered into him. John knew Judas. They had shared the same table. They had been exposed to the same light and love. John, in fact, was the one who, although he doesn't name himself here, is the one who reclined on the breast of the Lord in a position of great repose and intimacy. He perhaps heard the heartbeat of the Sacred Heart, that heartbeat from which we come, because we came from divine love, who invented us, who dreamt us, who wanted us to be, that we might be caught up in an everlasting adventure of love, of which this reclining on the breast of Jesus in the Last Supper was the foretaste. But my friends, that too is offered to us. In this Holy Week, we are invited to keep the Lord company, especially in 2 days' time on Holy Thursday, when the Lord was abandoned by his own. Although St. John, even there, was pretty faithful. He fell asleep, but against his will. He wants us to keep watch 1 hour. And that invitation is given to us every Thursday night. And any time we have time before the Blessed Sacrament, the Holy Hour. And Jesus is much consoled when we do those holy hours. We are at home when we are before our God. We are with the angels, and we are resting on the bosom of the Lord. Now, it's kind of important that we remember that. Not spending the time in divagation of mind, wondering about tomorrow, wondering about our problems, but just being in love. It is enough to be there, to feel the presence, to sense the gaze looking at us, to know that we are with the angels, that the angels are happy to see us there, that our angel is at our side adoring with us. It is enough to be at home with our God. Enough is said, my friends. We come now to the altar of our God, knowing that we are celebrating love. It's not hard, but it demands what? Our attention. Let's be at the altar and not elsewhere.